Hey, this is Politics but Laura, and I got a good one for you today. Look, you can't make this stuff up. You can't make it up with anywhere in history. You can't make this stuff up. I like this instrumental. Like I said, you can't make this stuff up. OMG, where do I begin? Oh man, Walker, Raphael Warnock. The only debate they had in Savannah, Georgia for a senatorial race. The level of ignorance that was displayed there. Oh my god. I don't know. Okay, wait a minute. Let me back it up. Maybe they may have been maybe nervous. I don't know. But Pastor, this is the wild part. Pastor Raphael Warnock. I call him NASA. Never a straight answer. That man did not give one answer. He didn't answer. You ask him what day is it, and he's over there talking about the moon is flying over Jupiter. But he didn't say anything about the day. It's beyond me. Now, Herschel Walker answered every question. Now, he wasn't always you weren't always able to understand where he was going and putting things together that didn't belong, but I don't know. It might have been his football days. Who knows? Who knows? But you just can't make this stuff up. You truly can't. You can't. So this is beyond. All right. Now, I was looking around and in the news, right? Herschel Walker, Raphael face off in only debate with Senate controls online. Now, they didn't have any other debate before, but only this one debate. So Georgia, the Georgians who were voting only had one time to see these guys, just once. And each of their answers were no more than a minute long. They had a question and they had a minute in order to respond. Now, you're talking about holding a position to where this person is going to represent Georgia, but on a federal level and also an international level. You can't make this stuff up. Now, I could only imagine if Herschel Walker were elected. I'm saying hypothetically, and I'm not too happy about Raphael Warnock either. I mean, he voted for, according to Herschel Walker, that he voted for Joe Biden 95% of the time. So Herschel Walker was like, well, I don't know where Biden ends and Raphael Warnock begins. I don't either. You can't make this stuff up. But having said that, that they may have international ties. Herschel Walker is a loose cannon. And you're talking about people having diabetes, and so he's talking about, hey, well, eat right. You can't make this. I can't remember how he said it, but it would make you want to just run under a rock and just hide. Both of them. You can't make it up. You just can't. But what was interesting about the article? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Now, The first-term Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock of Georgia, the Republican challenger Herschel Walker face off Friday night in Savannah in their first and only debate ahead of next month's midterm election. It gets worse. And the debate comes as Walker, a former college football and professional football star, is facing the biggest controversy of his campaign for the Senate. He continues to deny bombshell reports that he paid for his girlfriend's abortion 13 years ago. Now, this woman came out that she had receipts. It seemed like that she was like, okay, I got an abortion. I'm going to hold this receipt. Yep, I paid for it because he was too cheap and too broke to give me the money straight up. Nah, he didn't give me the $800. I had to pay for it myself. Okay, I'm rambling. 13 years later, she has the receipt. Who holds on to receipts for 13 years? Who? Just tell. I'll wait. I'll wait. Who holds on to receipts for 13 years?
Shalon and Gabby.
Okay, besides my sister or my niece, besides them. But there's some criminality with them. But oh my goodness. Okay, let me take that back. But besides that, who holds on to abortion receipts? Did he not pay her? And then she decides, aha, I got the receipt and you're going to give me my money. Okay. Now, I'm not sure whether if these allegations are true. Don't know. Don't know. Because you know how people come out the woodwork and say, no, we don't want him. But I'm going to leave that right there. Like I said, you can't make this stuff up. Abortion 13 years ago. Walker, who is a vocal opponent of legalized abortion and supports a proposed federal ban on abortions after 15 weeks of pregnancy. So it's not that he is opposed to abortions, or shall I say, I'm sorry, terminations. He's not opposed of it. He's just simply saying that it's going to be 15 weeks. And I'm not going beyond that because that is what the people voted on, and that is what he's going to maintain. So he's not opposed to it. And let's not be disingenuous, news people. Let's not do that. Let's be accurate. You're letting your bias show. Even though it's funny, but don't let your bias show. But it goes on. With the controversy preceding the showdown, and I have to say it was a showdown, the sole debate in the contest and being framed as a make or break moment in the race where an average of the latest public opinion poll indicated Warnock with a slight 3 points ahead over Walker. Okay. If you watch a debate, you would know exactly why I'm just like, really? If you watch a debate, it was a complete train wreck. It was a three-ring circus. And even within it, even within uh, Warnock not answering a question, as delusional as Walker was, he did get in some good shots. And I'm like, you can't make this stuff up. You can't make it up. Oh my goodness, you can't. And I'm just sitting there like, I don't believe this. I don't believe I'm watching this crazy stuff. This is just beyond comprehension. But that's just me. But the article goes on. Oh my goodness. The article goes on to say Walker, who won a Heisman Trophy, and he helped steer the University of Georgia um, to a college football national championship 4 decades ago, 40 years ago, jumped into a GOP race to face off against Warnock in the summer of last year after months of support of encouragement to run for the Senate by the former President Donald Trump, a longtime friend. Okay, now this guy won a Heisman Trophy 40 years ago. Helped Georgia State. Now, why? Okay, probably nobody else wanted to run, and they just said, "Hey, go ahead and run for Senate. Just go ahead, Herschel. Come on, we got to get that guy out of office." We don't know where Raphael Warnock begins and Joe Biden ends. I don't know if I were a fly on that wall, but this is too funny. But here's an interesting part. It says, "My biggest advice is to just keep smiling." Gingrich told Fox News he needed to be positive and to just keep drawing the big issue contrasts. The more Herschel said, at the level of Biden's inflation, crime, and open borders, drug overdoses, and the more trouble Warnock is in. The narrow victory by Warnock and the senior pastor at Atlanta Ebenezer Baptist Church. Oh my goodness! Wait a minute. Wait. Make sure. Okay, Dr. Martin Luther King's church that he preached at, and now you have a pro-abortion. All right. Okay. Oh Lord, how do you unpack this? Okay, this is one of the reasons why I think pastors should not run for office because it directly opposes the Holy Scriptures. So you have a pro-choice pastor when it clearly states within the Holy Scripture. I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to leave it alone. I don't want anybody saying I'm talking violence. No, I don't. But this is wild. I mean, this you can't make this. You can't make this stuff up. Where Martin Luther King Jr. used to preach over the lawful and Democratic John Ossoff's razor thin win over GOP Senator David Perdue on the same day in Georgia's twin January 5th, 2021 runoff. It, I'm at a loss for words for that one. I truly am. But there's another senatorial race in Pennsylvania. Okay. You have a world renowned doctor, Dr. Oz. And then you have John Fetterman. Now, John Fetterman and Herschel Walker to me have a lot in common. There's up here that's just a little off. I think both have mental health. Well, actually, Herschel Walker came out and said he had a mental health issue. He said that some kind of I can't remember the medical name for it, but it basically boils down to a split personality. Now, he said, "I don't need a doctor. I talk to my pastor or friends." Herschel, oh my goodness, he says he got it under control and that he doesn't listen. Oh my, look, mm. But John Fetterman, people in Pennsylvania are concerned about John's mental health. And oh man, they're concerned about his mental health, and he seems, in my opinion, to believe that he is okay. Now, there's all types of reports. Now, the the Pennsylvania Democratic John Fetterman struggles were apparent at Tuesday U.S. Senate debate with Republican Dr. Emmett Emmett Oz. Fetterman, the state's lieutenant governor, suffered from a stroke days before the Democratic primary. Now, okay, he suffered from a stroke. Now, how bad was a stroke? Because some people can have a stroke and they give you some medication and it moves the blood clot away and gets dissipates from the brain. Now, if this man suffered from a stroke and now they're wondering his issues, I think maybe it might be a good thing for people to pull him out or just say no. There's some issues there, but that we both know that's not going to happen. We both know. But days before the Democratic primary in May, and has struggled with his words ever since. After facing intense pressure from the local and national newspapers like the Pittsburgh Post Gazette and the Washington Post, Fetterman finally agreed to uh, to debate Oz. Now, what was he going to do? Just sit there and not debate and then just say, hey, I'll just go through elections? Not everybody can pull a Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's once in a lifetime type of thing. Once in a lifetime. Um, the much anticipated showdown took place Tuesday night in Harrisburg, where the moderators immediately announced that both candidates have access to closed captioning as Fetterman requested it to put to help him process the questions. Interesting. That stroke must have been pretty more significant than what he's letting on. Fetterman's struggles persist throughout the hour-long debate as he fought through awkward pauses and struggled with words. The trouble for Fetterman started while responding to the first question when he said, "Hi, good night, everybody." Okay, that was strange. But not only that issue, but he really, in my opinion, really concerns me because he he has issues, especially with black people. Now, I don't know what his interactions were with black people before this, but it was reported that he chased an innocent black man down the street. And at that time, he held a public office. And he chased a black guy down the street with a loaded gun. That's dangerous. I mean, if he's doing that, man, are black people okay? I'm just gonna put what I'm thinking, and many other people are thinking that whom are aware of this situation. Are black people safe? Really? I mean, because if he's doing that and nothing was done, he didn't get a parking ticket, he didn't get um, a stay away order, he didn't spend 1 minute in jail, he wasn't brought in front of a judge, not a citation, nothing. What else will he do? That's just my personal thought. That's right. To me, that's very scary. Very, very, very scary. But Dr. Oz, you know, I'm just thinking, what's going on, Dr. Oz? I mean, you're having a hard. Oh man, I don't want to say that. Oh man, I truly don't. But here, what does Dr. Oz say? Okay, here they talk about Dr. Oz. Heart surgeon ignored his opponent's health throughout the debate. I mean, what was he supposed to be concerned with his health, or was he supposed to try to win a race? I mean, though he has hammered Fetterman on issues repeatedly during the campaign, on Tuesday night, Oz attacked Fetterman's police policies on crime, saying that he's trying to get as many murderers out of jail as possible. That's something. These radical positions extend beyond crime, Dr. Oz charged. He added, he later added, his extreme position has made him untenable. Interesting. Now, it also goes on with an article says that the stroke rehabilitation specialist, Dr. Sonia Sheth, who watched a debate, called Fetterman an inspiration to stroke survivors. Okay, that right there is very true. I most definitely give him that. He said, in my opinion, he did very well, and Dr. Sheth in Northwestern Medical uh, Mandranjoy Rehabilitation Center in southern Chicago. He said his stroke was less more than a year ago, and will continue to recover over the next several. Now, okay, I'm glad that he most definitely survived. Thank goodness. That's number one. Number two, I think that he should first become well, come over this hump, and then participate. Now, I don't, in my opinion, I don't think it's fair for the Pennsylvanians to have to, dare I say, I don't think it's fair for Pennsylvanians to have someone that had a stroke and is still having complications from the stroke, and Fetterman wants to run for office, but is not totally fit for the position. That's all that I'm saying. That's it. And my next point is Kyle Rittenhouse. He seems to stay in the news in one way or another. Now, my heart most definitely goes out to Kyle. It does, because I think the Republican Party used him to no end. Used him. Um, I think the whole thing was a debacle. It was. Now, it seems like that Rittenhouse has a GoFundMe campaigns removed. This is interesting. The GoFundMe confirms. Okay, why are you not allowing me to see this? Okay, I can't. This article. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, the GoFundMe confirms Thursday that it removed fundraiser created on the site uh, in support of Kyle Rittenhouse, a teen arrested for murder, or deleting the following in a deadly shooting in Kenosha, Wisconsin. The popular GoFundMe company told the Washington Times it pulled a fundraiser made for the 17-year-old deleter, terminator suspect to refund the donations contributed to the campaign. Wow. Kyle, this right here is what I said in a couple other videos ago, because I do pray for you. Your life is it's never going to be the same. And people will never, ever, ever let you forget, especially those who believe. And please, people, listen, I said believe. That's it. Please don't run down Wisconsin Kenosha law. Please don't, please don't do that. Believe that he got away with it. Now, the law says you're innocent. I grant you that. The law says you're innocent, but however, you're going to have people who will always say that you got away. Now, that's how people feel. They do. They feel that way. And that's something at some point you're simply going to have to accept. Now, the GoFundMe was taken down because it was funding you, Kyle. And again, I feel bad for you. I do. And you're always going to be associated, not always. Let me take that back. Let me walk that back. You're going to be associated with groups like Proud Boys. I mean, people were so inspired by you that there was a group in Argentina that opened up a Kyle Rittenhouse cultural center. You can't make this stuff up. I mean, you can't. You can't. If you look back a couple of, maybe about 5 or 10 videos ago, I did that, and these people down in Argentina who was associated with the Kyle Rittenhouse Center was taken to jail. And their thing was they're anti-fascist, they're anti-alternative lifestyle, and they're anti something else I can't remember. But they dedicated the cultural center to Kyle Rittenhouse. So no matter, Kyle, what you do, no matter how you try to rebrand yourself, you're always going to have that label. And when you announced earlier this year that you were going to go to Texas A&M, oh man, you said it, you tweeted Friday. Believe me, you had people there on Monday in the enrollment office out making a video saying, "Hey, we don't see him on our list. He's not enrolled in this school." Because you already had people out there already protesting, say, "We don't want this guy in our school." Called him Red Rummer. I can't say it because YouTube is censoring. You have this going on, and they're like, we don't want you here, Kyle. We don't want you. Now, the right side is saying, okay, he's legally found innocent. Yes, he is, through the court of law. But look, conservatives, you must realize that there is a court of law and court of public opinion. Kyle survived the court of law. Now, he forever will have to deal with public opinion. And they're showing him Texas A&M. They're like, no, he's not in there. And plus, if so, there will be such a protest because there were students out there protesting, and Kyle wasn't even there. And this guy, I have to find that picture, saying we don't want no red rummers in our school. I don't want to be next to one. You can't control how people feel. And that's just the matter of the fact. That's just true. And also, you're always going to be associated with racist organizations. It's just what it is. When you were out there at that bar and you were making these signs that you said that you didn't know that they were Proud Boys, and you didn't know that the signs that you were making had something to do with racist organizations. Now, you can say that, and I'll leave you with that, but it doesn't mean that people are going to believe you. It doesn't mean that at all. Just the fact of the matter. And I do feel really, really, really bad for you. I do. The rest of your life is going to be rough. But back to the article. This is quite interesting. So that they took down the GoFundMe, and they said that the GoFundMe said the campaigns were taken down for violating the terms and services, but did not specify further. The terms prohibit any activity that GoFundMe may deem to be sole discretion to be unacceptable. Basically, Kyle, you are unacceptable. It was not clear how many related campaigns were pulled down from GoFundMe or the amounts they raised, although the time GoFundMe at least the time found at least three that had gathered or raised at least $1,000. And this is just simply it. And conservatives, you can say whatever you want to say about how he's innocent. And I don't mean to reiterate that point, but you see what the man is going through. And I call him man because he's a young man. He is. He's like, what, 21 now? 20? Somewhere. No matter what it is, companies are not going to deal with him in any way. GoFundMe just took down three to help him out for whatever his campaign is. He's finished. Now he has to spend the next how many years he lives. I hope he lives a long time, and I hope at some time he will be able to overcome this. But I remember tweeting him directly. Tweeting him. I said, Kyle, I have to find that tweet. You need to step back out of the limelight. Take a step back. Let everything die down. Give people time to forget and then reemerge. Some people jumped on me for saying that. That was great advice. He wouldn't be going through what he's going through now if he just would have said, okay, I'm going to take a step back. I'm not going to get on any social media. I'm just going to give it a break. But that's not what you did. You allowed the Republican Party to throw you out there like a piece of meat to the wolves, to the liberal wolves, and they are not going to forget. And the Republicans keep on pushing you out there, keep on pushing you out there. And Kyle, it doesn't help when you put stuff out there on Twitter. You see all the hate you get, and then you complain how you can't even go shopping without security because you're not doing a bare. Oh, Kyle, you're not doing a bare bone minimum. You're not. You can't make this up. You truly can't. You can't make this up. Now, if anybody wants to call in to give their piece, you can. Please call up if you want to come up. The what is it called? I have the StreamYard. You don't need an account. You could just push and come right on up, and we could talk. Or you can call in if you don't want to be on video, and we could talk about and tell me how you feel about Herschelwalker and Warnock, that debacle, or we can talk about Dr. Oz and John Fetterman, or we can talk about Kyle Rittenhouse and whatever your thoughts are on that. I would love to hear from you. Either way, you can call on the number, the 202-292-7538, or you can come up on StreamYard, or you can post something in in the comment section, and we could discuss it that way. But this is a complete mess. I just Herschelwalker, but man, Kyle Rittenhouse, that young man just oh man, he's gonna have a hard time, just like Monica Lewinsky. Oh goodness gracious, you had that. What was that woman's name? Oh my goodness, that was just a rough one. I can't remember her name. Monica Lewinsky, but what was the older? I can't remember the older woman's name. If you know, could you please put it down? Tripp. Last name Tripp. I can't remember her name. First name. Emily Tripp. No. Samantha Tripp. I don't know. But Monica Lewinsky, she couldn't even get married. I mean, I guess at some point she finally did. But when you have that kind of reputation, oh my goodness. And Kyle Rittenhouse, what father is going to give his daughter to you to marry? You're going to have a heck of a time. A heck of a time. Now, look, conservatives, I'm going to say this to you because I think some of you, I would say a big majority of you are hypocrites, and this is why I say it. You're saying this, hey, leave Kyle alone, this and that and the other, but would you allow Kyle to marry your daughter? I don't think so, because you know what his life is going to be like. It's going to be hard. And do you want your daughter marrying a guy that's going to have a hard life? No. And I think the hypocrisy, in my opinion, needs to stop. I have my cafe au lait, hazelnut. Yeah, it is. Between the senatorial race and in Georgia and in Pennsylvania and Kyle Rittenhouse, this whole country is just it's just out there, just totally out there. But I just wanted to go ahead and express my thoughts on that. I just was just thinking it's going downhill. And you have two guys. One had a stroke, Fetterman, and uh, Herschelwalker. He has some type of mental health issues, split personalities, and I don't know if he had that when he. Well, of course he had that. That right. This is wild. So many levels of like, darn. Is this really happening? You can't make this stuff up. You truly can't. I mean, I have a wild imagination, but I would have never been able to make this stuff up. On that note, I want to thank you for stopping by. Time is precious. That's one thing you'll never get back. And I hope you spending time with me was worth your time. On that note, bye.